in supporting the class of 2013. We are very grateful for your willingness to take time out of your day to come celebrate this momentous occasion. First, I would like to thank God for giving me the resilience to get here today. My faith has been to steal a quote from Johnny Cash, a flower of light in a field of darkness. It's given me the strength to carry on. I would also like to thank my incredible family for supporting me in all of my academic pursuits and for keeping me on the right track. It really is such an honor to be here today and to speak on behalf of the class of 2013. I would also like to thank the amazing staff and faculty of Farmington High School. They graciously poured their heart and soul into making us all a little more civilized, as Huck Finn would say, than we were 4 years ago. In preparing for the speech, I wanted to consider our voices. It's the sound of our voice that identifies us. Maybe we don't all have great singing voices, but we all have the ability to speak and tell our own story. While I was considering my voice, I began to contemplate what some of history's greatest orators would say if they were present with us today. Imagine if John F. Kennedy was a Farmington High School class president and heard some freshmen complaining about school lunches. Wouldn't he say, "Ask not what Farmington can do for you, but what you can do for Farmington"? And what if Farmington Prime Minister Winston Churchill heard relentless taunting by Prairie Grove students on Twitter? Wouldn't he remark, "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we will fight on the football fields and on the basketball courts, we shall never surrender"? These men, they weren't known for their perfection, but their voice, their identity, and their purpose. While thinking of these things, I came to the conclusion that high school, as a microcosm of life, is simply about finding your voice. It's not a literal voice that I'm speaking of, but instead our identity. What makes you truly you? Some of us today may not have found our voice, but there's still time. Time is something that, as high school graduates, we do have on our side. Time to go into the world and time to find our purpose. I came to Farmington High School without a voice, very little purpose or resolve. And let's be honest, the journey through high school wasn't easy for any of us. 4 years ago, many of us vowed to stick to our values and our beliefs, not knowing that at every turn we would meet heavy resistance. However, this process was molding our voice if we chose to go against the tide, to take the road less traveled by, as Frost would say. I personally and somewhat naively expected this to be an easy process, but it was not. As a freshman, I believed basketball might give me my identity. I loved basketball and I had high hopes for what I perceived to be my true love. For those who knew me then, being 5'3", a buck 25, and barely able to jump over a foam globe, you might find that surprising, but trust me. Unfortunately, late in my freshman year, I dislocated 2 discs in my spine, badly injuring my back. I found out, like my good friend Josh Moeller, that life can occasionally pour sulfuric acid on you and then force you into a freezing shower for 20 minutes. Really, it's how we respond to a situation that really matters. It's being able to stand in that freezing shower knowing that it is for the better. Before this injury, I had never played an instrument, so no. But afterwards, I translated all my love for sports into a new passion for music. Perhaps many of us tried to find an activity that defined us. We tried baseball, cheerleading, basketball, football, drama, choir, hoping that one of these things would fill the enormous void that a lack of purpose creates in our lives. While these pursuits may have helped us in our development, I hope we have learned that the things that we love are not who we are. During my 10th grade year, I began to have a Bible study with a few friends, Chris Sims, Brennan Warren, Colton Wilbanks, and Cameron Hester. We were making an attempt to find out who we were, our identity. Something that we often discussed was a Bible verse in John chapter 1. In this story, John the Baptist was being questioned by the leaders of his time. Who are you? We need an answer. He responded in a way that we all need to be able to. He said, "I am the voice of one crying out in the wilderness, make straight the way of the Lord." The scripture has been in many ways a guiding light for me. This man, he had a voice, and an identity, and a purpose worth dying for. He found his identity in the pages of the Bible. In our study, we strove to find our identity in the very same source. What is identity? Well, to put it in another light, Thomas Merton, a famous scholar and poet, said, "If you want to identify me, ask me not where I live, or what I eat, or how I comb my hair. Instead, ask me in detail what it is that I'm living for." I pray that you all continue at the next stage of your life, whether that is college, military, trade school, or the workforce. That you not forget your identity, that you keep it separate from your occupation. You will know you have found a voice by the effect that it has on others. If you are doing justice, loving mercy, and walking humbly with your God, you will be making an impact on our country for the greater good. I pray God help us, all of us, everyone, to use our voice, to speak loudly in truth when it is needed, to speak softly in love when it is required. But by all means, please speak. Thank you.
This time I'd like to introduce Reverend Val Speech to present the Maury Hopper Scholarship Award.